Have you ever noticed how life sometimes feels like you're watching the same movie on repeat? Same mistakes, same frustrations, same endings. You change jobs, partners, or locations, but somehow the story finds its way back to where it began. Why? One of the deepest reasons is a powerful idea most of us never question: the belief in separation. We're taught to see ourselves as isolated, cut off from others, from the universe, even from the very outcomes we long for. But philosophy, science, and spirituality whisper a different story. They suggest separation isn't the truth, it's a lens, and once we shift that lens, reality itself begins to change. From the moment we're born, we inherit a worldview. You are you, and I am me. You are told your body ends at your skin, and the world out there is something you have to battle, control, or survive. This worldview gives rise to competition, loneliness, and fear. If everything is separate, then life is a constant zero-sum game. But thinkers across ages, from Heraclitus and Plotinus to modern philosophers of mind, have hinted otherwise. Even in physics, experiments shake the old certainty. The famous double-slit experiment reveals that reality shifts depending on whether it's observed. Particles behave like waves of possibility until someone looks. And quantum entanglement shows that once particles connect, they can mirror each other across vast distances, as though space itself doesn't separate them. Philosophically, this suggests something radical. The boundary between me and world may be more porous than we've been taught. The world isn't a machine of isolated parts. It may be closer to what Spinoza called one substance, different expressions of a unified whole. Here's where separation becomes personal. While our conscious mind thinks it runs the show, it's the subconscious that's quietly steering the ship. Psychologists estimate that as much as 90% of our daily behavior is automatic: habits, emotional reactions, beliefs laid down early in life. Think of the subconscious as a hidden scriptwriter. And here's the catch: that script was mostly written in childhood, when we absorbed ideas from parents, teachers, and culture without questioning them. I'm not good enough. Money is scarce. Love always hurts. These beliefs are stored deep, shaping how we perceive reality. Modern neuroscience and heart-brain research add another layer. Our body literally broadcasts these inner states. The heart generates an electromagnetic field measurable several feet beyond us, and emotions like fear or gratitude ripple through this field. So, in a very real sense, our inner world doesn't stay inside. It resonates outward. What looks like bad luck may often be life faithfully echoing the vibration of our subconscious script. That's why change at the surface rarely lasts. We have to work with the deeper level of belief. So how do we step out of the loop? How do we change the script that keeps pulling us back into the same story? This is where philosophy becomes practical. Thinkers like Epictetus, the Buddha, and Nietzsche, all, in their own ways, emphasize the power of interpretation. Events don't imprison us. It's our habitual way of seeing them. Change the lens, and the world shifts. Here's a modern framework for breaking free. Awareness. First, notice the script. What beliefs do you repeat unconsciously? I'll never succeed. People can't be trusted. Observe these thoughts as patterns, not as truth. Imagination. The mind is a rehearsal hall. When you vividly imagine a new possibility, your brain lights up as though it's already happening. Ancient Stoics practiced negative visualization. Today we can use positive visualization to train the mind for what we want. Emotion. Logic alone doesn't rewire the subconscious. Emotion is the glue of memory. Feel the state you want to live in. Gratitude, love, strength, as if it's already present. Consistency. One meditation won't undo decades of conditioning. Like learning a language, change requires daily practice. Little by little, the old script fades and a new one takes hold. embodied action. Finally, philosophy is not armchair speculation. It must show up in how you live. Each time you act in alignment with your new vision, you're telling your subconscious, "This is who I am now." But here's the paradox. The moment you try to change, resistance appears. Nietzsche called it the spirit of gravity, that pull back into the familiar. Philosophically, these challenges are not accidents. They are tests of coherence. Will you collapse into the old script when life pokes your weak spots, or will you hold steady in your new alignment? When setbacks appear, don't ask, "Why me?" Instead ask, "What script is this trying to pull me back into?" If you can answer that and stay the course, resistance becomes proof that transformation is working. Across history, science and spirituality often seem like rivals, but in exploring consciousness, they sometimes converge. Theories like Penrose and Hamerof's orchestrated objective reduction suggest consciousness might involve quantum processes inside brain microtubules. Whether proven or not, the very attempt to bridge physics and mind reveals a hunger to understand how thought and matter intertwine. Meanwhile, spiritual traditions have long carried a simple message: all is one. Hinduism speaks of Brahman, Buddhism of dependent origination, indigenous wisdom of the web of life. Each points beyond the illusion of isolation toward interconnection. Even if we take these teachings metaphorically, the practical impact is profound. When you act as though everything is connected, your choices change. Compassion makes sense. Gratitude makes sense. Creativity becomes a dialogue with the universe, not a battle against it. So let's ground this in daily life. Here are tools to begin reshaping the inner script. Meditation. Use breath or mantra to enter relaxed brain states where the subconscious is most accessible. Affirmations with emotion. Words without feeling are hollow. Speak them with conviction, as though they're already lived truths. Visualization. Spend 10 minutes daily walking through a scene of your desired reality. Engage the senses. What do you see, hear, feel? Gratitude. Journaling. Each night, record 3 things you're grateful for. Over time, your brain becomes tuned to notice abundance rather than lack. Embodiment. Ask, how would the future me behave right now? Then take one action in that spirit. Small steps compound into identity shifts. These are not mystical tricks. They're philosophical disciplines, practices of self-shaping. And then, perhaps the hardest part, letting go. We often obsess over the how will I get the job? How will love arrive? How will money flow? But clinging to the mechanics keeps us stuck in separation, as though the universe is an enemy to wrestle with. Philosophy offers another way. The Taoists spoke of Wu Wei, effortless action, aligning with the current rather than forcing against it. To surrender is not to quit. It is to trust. Do the inner work, align your actions, then release the outcome to the larger web of life. The illusion of separation is perhaps the greatest obstacle to transformation. It tells us we are cut off, small, powerless. But the deeper truth, affirmed by philosophy, hinted at by science, and lived in spiritual practice, is connection. When you begin to reprogram your subconscious, you're not just changing thoughts, you're altering the frequency with which you meet the world. And the world, in turn, responds. So remember, reality isn't fixed, it's a mirror. Change the story within, and the reflection shifts without. The universe isn't happening to you, it's happening through you. So I'll leave you with this question. What script are you rehearsing? And are you ready to write a new one?